So where we last left off, we just made the sides, the bottom, the top, the trim, and we assembled it all together onto your box. Now, with the physical project, this would be the point where we go in and we reinforce the sides of this with dowel rods. So on here, we're going to double click one of your sides, and that'll make it so you can edit the piece. And we're going to drill holes into this. So to symbolize that, we're going to right click on this surface and say new sketch. And with our point, we're going to come and find the center of each of these, and it will give you guidelines for when you get close to it. And once you have all four centers located, you're going to finish your sketch and select the button that says Hole. Now notice it highlights the ones on the other piece that we're not actually modifying right now. But since these are the same piece, it's the same part file, it's going to change both of them at the same time. We want a 1/4 inch hole, so make sure this is 0.25. We're going to change the termination distance to through all and select OK. And you should have just made 4 holes on these corners. Now we're also going to take the 12-inch piece, drill a hole through this part, but it's going to go into this one behind it. So instead of switching back and forth, let's go ahead and make the hole that would be here. So I'm going to right click on face, say new sketch, find the exact center of this again and put in a point. And again, when you start getting close to the center, as long as you have point selected, it should give you little guidelines to say that this is the center of the part. Finish your sketch. Now we have to click on the point, select hole, and I don't want it to go all the way through. I don't have any drill bits that are that big. I'm telling students that they need to drill down 1 inch into their jewelry box. So that's a 1/2 inch that goes into the piece that's on top of this, and another 1/2 inch past that. We're going to change this back to distance, leave it at a 1/4 inch, but change the depth to 0.5. Okay. Switch to the other side of your box. Right click on this face and add a new sketch. Click on point again. Find the center. If you need to measure to find the center, or if you want to make sure that you're in the right place, click on dimension and click on one of your edges, and on the point it should be 0.75 and 0.25. This should not be a necessary step if you get the guidelines that line everything up, and it will show you when you're lined up horizontally and vertically with the other midpoints. Select hole again. It defaults to the only place where you've put a point, and we still want a 1/2 inch deep and a 1/4 inch in diameter. Once you select return, it'll show you both sides have the 4 holes in them, and so now we're ready to modify the 12-inch pieces. So right click and make a new nice uncheck visibility. That's no good. If you happen to do this, it's not a big deal. You have a gray shaded out part on this side. Right click on it and make sure you have visibility checked. Double click on this piece. Click twice. And then right click and make a new sketch. Now select point again, find the midpoint, find the other midpoint, finish your sketch, select hole, change the distance to through all, and make sure it's 1/4 of an inch. Okay, and just like with the other one, we're also going to modify these pieces because we're going to be drilling into this as well. Select point. Make sure you're in the middle. And with this, it's only showing me the surface I selected. I have to click on Project Geometry and then click on these other edges so I can start to see kind of where things are. And actually I can take advantage of the fact that there's another piece over the top of this and use the hole that was already there to make sure the point that I'm going to put in is going to be right in the middle of that. Finish your sketch. Select hole. We do not want this to go all the way through, so we're going to make sure we change this to distance, and just like before, it's going to be a 1/2 inch, so 0.5. Okay, last side. Right click on this surface, say new sketch. That worked out pretty well last time with projecting the holes from this piece. So I'm going to do it with both the top and the bottom. It's going to limit the chances that we can mess this up. Select point. Put a point on each of these. Finish your sketch. Select hole. And now you have a depth of a 1/2 inch, diameter of 0.25. Select OK. And if we look, we have all of these on even the little ghost part back here all taken care of. So we should be good to go. Make sure you select return. And now we're ready to start making the dowel rod. So we have to reinforce these sides now. We drilled out into them. Now we're going to add a physical binder to make sure that this doesn't come apart over time, that the glue doesn't break down and the whole thing falls apart. So to do that, we're going to go up here to new part, create a 2D sketch, select one of these faces, circle, select the midpoint here. We said this is 0.25 for the diameter. Finish your sketch and select extrude. And we said these are 1 inch long. And there it is. It's already at 1 inch. And I think it looks kind of neat when you have a different material type for this. So for the different woods that we have, I'm going to select walnut and save this as 1 inch dowel rod. And a dowel rod is just a long piece of wood that's already rounded over like this, so it's cylindrical and it can be cut into different sizes. Go back to your assembly file, and now at place we're going to put in our 1 inch dowel rods, and we need 12 of these. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Select constrain. We're going to use an insert constraint on all of them, and all we have to do with an insert constraint is we click on what surface we want the two pieces to be touching. So I want this surface of the dowel rod and this surface of the box to share the same point. So I select the two and say apply. and now it doesn't quite look right, so I have to switch back the other direction. Should have given me a preview. Alright, so it messed up. It didn't do what I wanted to do. So I'm going to select the part, find it over here. It's going to be the one that's highlighted in blue. Right click where the constraint is, it says insert, and select edit. Alright, and now it's not going the way that I want it to. I want it to be flipped, and select OK. Alright, now it's doing what I want it to do. We're going to keep doing this same kind of constraint. With other areas of the box. And if we just kind of leave this up and select apply each time, it should go pretty fast. I'm selecting the face of the dowel rod and the top of the hole. If you select the bottom of it, it won't do what you want it to do. Just make sure you're on the top face. So you have all of one side, you can flip to the next. And that should be all of your dowel rods. We're getting pretty close to the limits of a video like this, so we're gonna save here, and we'll pick up with a new video on the next time. We'll talk about how to make the inside tray for this box. So make sure that you save. We'll pick up in the next video.